Hi everybody, welcome to Jake's Showcase. I do videos on Wednesdays. Today I thought I would show you my walk, the walk I call it. And I do this walk, I've been doing it for years, and I'm going to show you sort of where I go and why I go to the places I go. I did a video on YouTube describing how I do my on-foot marketing, but I thought I would just give you a dry run through. Today it's cold out, it's wet and damp, so I've had to put on my waterproof boots, which are a little bit too small for me and they hurt my feet. I hate it, and I'm going to show you what I wear. In Canada it's pretty cold out, so you always got to wear a lot of stuff. I've got a lot of layers on here, and I always wear this red scarf. I really like this red scarf. It sort of stands out to the eye. Nice simple hat, nothing sort of too out there. And I've got my gloves here, which I just got for Christmas, which I really like. They're really good looking. Check them out. They're not the warmest, but the thing is that they look sharp. I love them. Alright, so now it's time to get going. It turns out it's a little bit warmer than I thought it, which is great. I love it. But it's still really wet and sloppy. So, in me liking to stay warm and dry, I basically have to try to stay, this is cold and wet. It's the exact opposite to what I like. But here we go from our long marketing walk. Okay, so there's the house that I live in, right? And this is really considered kind of a nice area. This is considered Wortley Village. People really like this, pay a big premium being in this area. But, you know, we live in a kind of a crappy house. We live kind of in the crappiest house in this really nice neighborhood. But still, it's a nice, quiet, peaceful area that I've enjoyed. And, yeah, so I usually come down the block here and I start going, gotta have the cigarette. Today's a Tuesday, and so what that means is that it's the day before my video release, which I do on Wednesdays. So on Tuesdays, it's really good because, you know, basically the newness of a video has worn off, and so what I have to do is by doing this kind of a marketing, especially on a Tuesday, it sort of boosts the numbers up. You know, just at the very end to try to get that last little kick of numbers for your average video count, which is an important metric in YouTube. Okay, this here is the local, what do you call it, grocery store. It's only about a block from my house, or less than a block from my house, and I always cut through this parking lot. Now, Canadian people are known to be sort of calm and quiet, but this area in particular is really calm and quiet. So it's very difficult to, you know, drive up, you know, interest by talking a lot. So this is why I do a lot of this online, quiet, sort of just peaceful walking and cutting through and in front of grocery stores. As you'll see, it has been very effective. Okay, this here is called Wortley Road, which is like the main sort of strip in Wortley Village. And there's a whole bunch of little tiny shops around here, major grocery store. There's the big bar, famous bar, the Wortley Roadhouse. And, you know, people really like it. They really take to it because of its sort of basic, you know, unique, you know, kind of prestigious area in London. I consider it the second nicest area in the city, and I think a lot of people would agree with that. In fact, I think it got rated #1 in Canada at one point, maybe 2 years ago. So it's quite a nice neighborhood. Here's the local library there. One thing that's really neat about this neighborhood is that they're not allowed to have any like big commercial companies. So everything has got to be small. There's no like McDonald's or Starbucks allowed, and everything is sort of micro-sized. Pet stores. That's one of the rules around here, is that you can't have a big giant corporation move in. Some people compare it to sort of a, you know, like, you know, just the kind of the fancy neighborhoods of almost every major city. I guess they have one. Roncesvalles in Toronto would be similar, and Chestnut Hill in Philadelphia. There's a cute little bakery there. There's a nice little cafe, and they're redoing the hardware store over there in the corner. So that should be done. It's been going on for about a few months. Now, it doesn't seem like much, but really, just by walking this every single day, people actually spot me and recognize me, and I believe that it ups my view count. And this little area here is the beginning of it. As you'll see, it gets much busier in the city as we get closer to the core. So this here is a little side street from going over to one of the main roads here. As you can see, it's a nice kind of quiet area. Some of the buildings have been converted into apartment buildings like over there, but there's a lot of these old, nice yellow brick houses. And one of the things is that I go the same route pretty much every single day, and I find that consistency, it kind of makes you like a red flag, if you will, literally. And hopefully, slowly but surely, what happens is that people might see you out the windows, people might say hi to you, they recognize you, and hopefully they make the connection again with the channel. Remember, this marketing, as you will, is all free. That's the price I like. Okay, this is the first major road going into and out of the city. Notice how I always go cross traffic. And the reason you want to go cross traffic is that so the cars are looking at you, you know, that they'll see you, hopefully they'll spot you. And again, you're looking for visibility as high as you can. And there's a lot of cars that go as we head towards the downtown core. You ever heard of Labatt Blue? Well, that's the Labatt Blue factory there. London, I guess, is the home of the Labatt Blue. I think you can see it way over there. So this giant factory, it's built right on this river, which I'm going to show you in a second. It's called the Thames River, and the reason they did it was for the water supply and for the water dumpage. So there's Labatt, giant factory, right? And here's the Thames Park. So the whole city was basically built on the Thames River. It's called the Thames River. It was London, like for London, England, the Thames River, like for the Thames River in London. And they kind of, at one point, wanted to be the capital of Canada. But I guess strategically, it just didn't make a lot of sense to make London the capital. But nonetheless, it was sort of kind of copycatting off of London, England. That's what the sort of the genesis of this town is. Okay, so this here is the Thames River. As you can see, it's January right now, but sorry, it's December still, and you can see it's not that cold prospectively. And there's the big brewery. Over there is the big power company. This is like the sort of the headquarters of, you know, how they make power. It's a pretty big river, and actually it intersects over there with another branch. So it's actually 3 different branches of a river. But you see, there's the brewery, there's the river. I'm on a bridge, and I don't know if you can see the other side of the river over there, but anyway, this is the Thames River in London. Check it. Okay, so this is one of the busier intersections in London, and you can see there's a lot of cars here. We're going to head up that way. Basically, once you cross those tracks, that's where I consider to be the beginning of downtown. Now, some people might think this is a boring video, but think about it. You get your exercise. You're basically getting out there. You know, you go get your lunch. I mean, one of the problems is that sometimes it's hard to get exercise in Canada because it can get cold. It's really hard to go outside. So you just got to keep going and going and going. Okay, so crossing over these tracks, this is sort of, there's the Royal Bank there. Crossing over these tracks is sort of where I consider to be the beginning of downtown. And now you'll see it's going to start to build up, and a lot more traffic's going to come. I walk this every day. One thing about London is that it's so gray. It's kind of like very little sun, especially in the wintertime. I think it's got like the most precipitation like in the world or something like that per square foot. I'm sorry, in North America, not the world, in North America. Okay, so here's my little cut through. I cut through this little area here. And this little thing, there's a whole bunch of these little shops. Again, what I'm looking for is viewership, right? There's the old liquor store. Anybody who knows me and my channel knows that I got a little bit of a history with the liquor store. But nonetheless, there's these cute little shops here, right? What you're hoping for is you're hoping for your most visibility by cutting through with all of these different people here. So now once we're past that parking lot, we get into this street here. And as you can see, this is like a main street here where you start to see more build up and more people. And you're going to see the Greyhound in a second. So here's London's Greyhound bus station, right? This is where a lot of people come and go, usually to Toronto. And then there's the first Tim Hortons that I see for the day, but it's not the one I go to. I got to do my whole walk. That'd be too short for me. It's not much of a growth city, but every once in a while you see a new construction like that looks really nice. And so you're happy because I don't know what they're going to put there, but it used to be an old Chinese food shop. There's the Tim Hortons there. We're going to head back towards this area here. There's a lot of like kind of grungy shops around here, like pipes and pipes and tattoos, and that's real big on the downtown core. It's one of the main types of businesses. That Black Cloud place was the first place I saw, but you'll see a couple more as we walk. So there you can start to see the Budweiser Gardens, which is the home of the London Knights. It used to be called the London Gardens, but I guess like Budweiser bought them out. And yeah, so that's a major economic driving force of this town is hockey, the hockey team. Junior A hockey, always a good team. Always one of the top records. Okay, this year is the famous London Covent Garden Market. It's where they put up an ice rink and people go inside of there. There's a whole bunch of like little stores and shops with restaurants and different sort of artifacts. And there's like the big bank and there's the big hockey arena. So I always cut through and right in front of all these stores to try to see, because you'll see as many people see me as possible. That's the whole point. So you want visibility, right? So you can see it's really had a hard time getting the ice going this year because it's been so warm. So there's the London TV station. In a lot of ways I feel like I should be working for them, but no go. So we're still walking down the market here, and you see there's lots of little restaurants in there. It's actually generally very good for visibility. At one point, this market here was called Smuggler's Alley. Not a lot of people remember Smuggler's Alley, but you know, now they call it the the Covent Garden Market, which sounds a lot nicer. But even so, still, down this alley here, I call it Beggar's Alley, because there's usually a lot of people who are, like street people and begging and stuff like that. So just, you got to go to the rich areas and the poor areas both, if you're going to market to everybody. Kind of funny, in Beggar's Alley there's not even one beggar today. It's kind of weird, I guess because it's so wet and cold out. Okay, so this is called Dundas Street here. This is like the main street in London, or one of the two main streets in London. And Dundas Street goes all the way to the east, and it goes all the way to the east, and I think it ends at the river. But it's a major street. There's a Dollarama there, and we're getting close to like Pizza. The main part of downtown is coming right up here by these bus stops. It's called Dundas and Richmond Street. And Dundas and Richmond Street has got a long and storied history, both good and bad. So here we go, getting closer and closer. Okay, so here's Dundas and Richmond Street. This is the main headquarters. This here is like the welfare building here. That's where you get your welfare if you're on welfare. As you can see, it's pretty busy. Starbucks, McDonald's, they all got their ticket in here. Rexall. So it's not completely like dead to the world, but it's a pretty, it's pretty busy. A lot of people, a lot of buses come around here. So again, here's another one of those sort of, I don't know, tattoo and smoke your marijuana shops, all those kind of stores. Notice how I'm going cross traffic still, right? So this street goes a long way, and we're going to go all the way to the end of it. But see, there's 3 stores, I think, in a row where it's like the top selling business here is selling your drug paraphernalia. Go figure. That's the Shoppers Drug Mart. They made it a few years ago, and it's really actually quite nice inside. It used to be a lot smaller. They got a thing called Laser Quest down there. It's a fun sort of video game place that people like to go. And see all the buses? They're all pulling into Dundas and Richmond Street, trying to, I guess, pick up their buses. This church over here, which you're going to see right there, that red church, that's called St. Paul's Church. And they're an Anglican church, and they do an incredible job. Every lunchtime, they serve homeless people. Every single lunchtime. So in my opinion, from what I've seen, the Anglicans do a best job at helping out the homeless and hungry. These guys do it every single day. Every single day. Now, it's not the greatest food, I gotta say, but, hey, listen, they're putting an effort forward. And a lot of times, that's hard to do when you're really down on your luck. Getting going. See this big building there? It's called One London Place. That's the tallest building in the city, right? There's lots of banks and stuff like that in there. It's a pretty big building, actually. And it's, in my opinion, kind of like the only true office tower in the city. And this here is the unemployment office, Canadian government office here. Right, as you can see, nice big old building. It's actually gorgeous, and the people in there are really quite nice. Actually, I really had a lot of good luck with them. So this is like one of the main parts of the city here. As you can see, it's not totally dead, but it's quiet. It's a quiet town. Nobody talks. So there's probably one of my friends coming up. We'll have to see. Once upon a time, I actually worked way up there at the securities office. This is like where RBC Dominion Securities. They were the top office, and I worked there when I was younger. And it was when I was really high and happy about, you know, the stock market, which I still am. I've actually got a renewed interest in it very recently. And so we're coming through here. That's the big Catholic church. It's called St. Peter's Basilica. It's actually a very beautiful building. And I grew up Catholic, so you know I tend to think it's the best looking building in the city for churches anyway. This here is the Grand Theater. This is where all like the main headquarters for dramatic arts are, like when people put on plays and stuff like that. In a lot of ways, I think that maybe I should have gone into acting, like actually, you know, like practicing acting. And one of the routes is to obviously go into stage acting, right? But they put on plays here. It's actually quite popular. People pay a lot of money to go to the shows. And here we go. This company there, that company Fairhigh, they own like half the city. They have all the property basically downtown. And this here is the fanciest restaurant in the city, Garlic's. I've always wanted to go here. I've never actually gone, but I walk past this place every day, and you know, it's like $200. It's like $200 to go in here, and this is their cousin, the tasting room, which wouldn't be a bad second choice, you know. So there's that church there again, as we keep on heading down the city streets. Over there is Victoria Park. That's the main park in the city. I don't know if we'll have a chance to go over there today, and but nonetheless, usually in the summertime when it's warm out, I like walking through there too, because people like strolling through. So here's Canada Post, and again, once again, that big, beautiful St. Peter's Basilica. Yeah, I really like that place. And so as you can see, there's not really much to it. I just walk up and down this street, and you can kind of see why. You can see that, you know, comparatively, it's actually a busier area. And there's these, you know, again, like all these stores, right? Like these nice stores here, but you know, I found this to be effective, doing this again and again and again and again and again and again and again, like hundreds of times. It might be the third most fancy restaurant in the city. It's the only restaurant that they have that you have a secret entrance. It says that the entrance is here, but you gotta know the secret knock in order to get into that one. And I've always been curious about going in there too. And that there, over there, you can see, that's where people play, Victoria Park, where people play music, called the Band Shop. And this, right in front of us, the store up here, this is what I like to call a pretty girl store, one with the heart on it, because only pretty girls go to this store. I've seen hundreds and hundreds of girls. They love it. They usually put stuff out front, and it's usually pretty girls going in that store. And right over there, that's the guy who cuts my hair, man. Totally recommend Joel Howard. Joel Howard is the man. Salon therapy, and I'm sure Ted is awesome too. But if you ever want a good haircut in London, that's the place to go. And here we are, the pretty girl store. Look at all this nice dresses and stuff. Oh yeah. Always curious. And the staff's really nice too, actually. This here is like the main bar in London. This is where, if you want to party and get it going, this Jack's here. A lot of fights in here. If you're into fighting and partying and doing all that stuff. I used to be into all that stuff. I loved it. So, if you're still there, this is the place to go for you. On Monday nights in particular. And this place here is cool too, because this is called the Poutine. They got awesome poutine. That's one of the specialties. I think they're from Montreal or Toronto, I'm not sure. But they got one store here in the city, and it's very popular. And as you can see here, now we're on what's called Richmond Row, which is, you know, they fancier stores. They got really nice, you know, like nice little, I don't know what they're called. Just shops, you know, but this is the main part. You see all these cars passing by? There's lots of people out here too, so this is very good visibility. You know, it'd probably be a little bit better if I put my red toque on, but I just thought I'd tone it down today. And right up there, I don't know if you can see that thing that says Albert's. That's a really great restaurant. That's probably one of my favorite restaurants in the city. It's a 1950s theme. So if you like your milkshakes, your hamburgers, your french fries, all that kind of stuff, that's exactly what I like. That's the store for you, 1950s. And they got cool, like Marilyn Monroe pictures in there. They got cool pictures. So I really dig that store, the Prince Albert's Diner. Always have. And over there is a nice cool coffee shop, right, called Williams Coffee Pub. If you're not into the drinking scene, you know, that's one of the, and then way over there you can see the Symposium, which is in the corner. We'll get close. If you're up for an ice cream, the Marble Slab is a good choice, right? A little bit expensive, but well worth it because it's so cute and it's a great date spot, right? Just go in here and check it out. We got all sorts of toppings for you, and this place is brand new here, but I love it. It's got the best hamburgers. I only had it one time, but I think I might even have it again tonight because they've only been open like 2 weeks. Me and my brother went there and we checked it out, and you know, it was amazing food, great drinks, great food. You know, filled me up right kind of my stuff. This year we're getting close to what's called Richmond and Central, which, you know, sort of like the upper end of the downtown, I guess you would call it. But I keep going all the way to what I consider the end of downtown. Joe Cool's, very popular bar for people who are done, sort of a little bit older crowd, but also very popular bar. Now they've implemented dancing, which is really good. A long time they didn't have dancing, but now they. There's our second Subway, and there's our second Starbucks. You ever notice that Starbucks is always, and there's a Symposium. Nice alternative cafe for another good date night. UPS. So, and that's a Canadian company, Little Caesars Pizza. They're alright. Here's another one of them kind of like, I don't know, drug paraphernalia stores. Check this one out. The guy's got a skull with a bong on it, strapped to the head. Like, seriously? Like, is that attractive? Does that make you want to buy that thing? Well, anyway, I don't know. It's real popular here in the city. People love going to the Bob Marley stores, you know, and I guess if you're into that kind of stuff, then there must be a market for it because there's at least 8 of those stores downtown here. Notice it's subtle, it's quiet. All you gotta do is walk. Cross traffic, mind you. Walk, and you're passing a lot of people. Either if you know it or if you don't. There's the fire department, big fire truck. This hair store is really good because they're the only ones that I know that sell that kind of hairspray. I like that Vieta hairspray. And so for specialty hair products, they're the place to go. Another place that sells a really good hamburgers right over there called the Jack Astor's. It's really a sports bar, so sometimes I don't feel comfortable being in there too long. In fact, at one point they offered me a job as a dishwasher, but I felt there was too much bar for me, so I decided not to take it. But nonetheless, they still have a really good hamburger. Kind of expensive, but I think well worth it. Great service too. I really like that place. And right here, this is one of the oldest bars, if not the oldest bar in the city. Certainly one of the most popular bars. It's called the Seeps and Bernie's. In the summertime, they have this patio here that a lot of people come out to the patio, but obviously when it's snowing and cold out, nobody wants to go outside, so they all go inside. And I'll show you the other side in a second. Okay, so there's the Seeps there, as you can see. And this, we're getting really close to the Tim Hortons I go to almost every single day. Or I try to go every single day. I'll show it to you in a second here. The Keg, that's a really fancy place. It's really nice, really awesome steak. But it's like $100. You gotta go $100 at least to go into that place. To be honest with you, I would say I would really like to go to that Garlics. Here in the strip mall, you can see the Tim Hortons that I like to go to every single day, right? And the reason I like to go here is mostly because it allows me to come up and down the street, right? I mean, all the Tim Hortons coffee is the same, but for the last three and a half years, I've been coming to this Tim Hortons here, right? And I do it pretty much every day. And I do it because, you know, I go up and down the street, gives you somewhere to go. And this is sort of like the end destination, almost. So I'm going to show you one more little thing after I get my coffee. Okay, so we keep going down the street here, up to those lights. And that's the main part of downtown. Here's another tattoo shop. Me and my Tim Hortons coffee, eh? I love it. There's a good bar too called Molly Bloom's. They do karaoke, and one of my last really good date was there. And so we're just crossing over these tracks here, and they got a nice little cafe now over there. This cafe here is super cute. It's just small, but it's just super cute, and I like it a lot. Bacon and eggs. That Campus Hi-Fi over there is really cool. It's a 1950s sort of theme like the Prince Alberts, but the difference is that they do breakfast, and they do a really good breakfast. I always get the same thing, like lots of eggs and lots of bacon. I don't know what it's called, but that's one of my favorite spots to go for a morning breakfast. When I can afford it, I would be there probably every day if I could. But this cute little European bakery moved in. They got really good pastries in there. So the rumor has it. I've never actually gone there. Check out all those little pipes and stuff like that inside of these drug shops. It's just ridiculous. I think it's just ridiculous. See, there's another one of those sort of drug paraphernalia stores, and this here is this Quizno sub I used to go to every day, but I think that they went out of business. I think something happened, and I used to love going there and sitting right there every single day. I love the chicken carbonara. I'm not sure if they're going to reopen or not, but you know, it's a great. I love Quizno subs, and that was my favorite one to go to as for a lunch break. We're getting basically up to the end here of where I'm going to show you, Oxford and Richmond Street, right? As you can see, it's really busy up here, and a lot of times I like to stop in that Value Mart, even though I have a Value Mart right in my block, because it sort of spans the whole city, right? Or it spans the whole downtown part of the city. The city's much bigger. The big university is way up there, up that street, and you know, but I consider this the main part of the walk, and I walk it every single day. Now I'm going to turn around and go exactly opposite traffic, going down the opposite direction, right? So, there you go. It's my on-foot marketing. That's the walk. I don't think I'll bring you all the way back, but now you get an idea of what I do and how I've gotten as many views on my YouTube channel. I hope you like that. So it's simple yet effective. Now when you walk down this way, look at all these cars in the road. They're all going to look at you, right? Especially today, because I got this camera flying around. Alright, I hope you like that. Please don't forget to like the video below, subscribe to the channel up above. I do my videos on Wednesdays, and hope you have a wonderful day.